I believe it's the least of Elon Musk and Tesla's problems. You just had a major miss in the first quarter. The S and the X combined were 12,000 units sold. The consensus was 20. That's a 40% miss. They were down 50%. The Model 3, if you back out some information from the press release, that was down 50% quarter over quarter. I believe demand has peaked in the U.S., and Tesla still has a big inventory problem.
So, Joe, I mean, the stock has underperformed so far this year. It's down 15% in the last 3 months, getting hit hard today. How much of it is those fundamentals like the orders that Gabe was just laying out, and how much is this overhang of what the court's going to decide and some of Elon Musk's legal problems?
Yeah, well, look, I'll tell you, I think the day that Elon is put in a chief technical role and a better, more steady operating executive is brought in, the stock goes up. I'm not a fan of the Elon tweet show, and I think it's a negative. Look, 2 years ago, if you told us that this company was going to be shipping 300,000 or 400,000 units this year, people would have said we're crazy. And I think I hope to be back here on this show when they're shipping 800,000 units, having this conversation again. Q4 was abnormally strong. Q1 was abnormally weak. But those things are going to normalize. Model 3 shipped 50,000 units. So I think we're kind of losing the forest for the trees here. This company is growing the segment of its business that it needs to grow.
But Joe, nonetheless, was the number yesterday less impressive than you expected? And if you saw that repeat for another quarter or so, would you be more meaningfully worried?
Well, to be clear, I had revised my Model 3 estimate to 50,000 units. I was off by 1,000 units. So I was surprised by the S and X numbers, and I do think the company is going to transition more quickly to Model 3 and Model Y than we expected. But look, the driving force of this company is reasonably priced mass market electric vehicles, and that's where they're executing well. So honestly, I think the S and X decline is a bit of a sideshow.
Gabe, from your bearish perspective, what's going on with the numbers? Do you think they've got a real demand problem?
Well, I totally disagree that the S and the X are just a sideshow. It was about an $800 million revenue miss, or most of the miss in Joe's model. And 2 months ago, Joe and I were here on CNBC. I said that on Twitter and other places, you could find pictures of lots that were real of thousands and thousands of Tesla cars, excess inventory, all over the country. And as we went through the quarter, you could check state registration data, foreign country registration data. There's a lot of hedge fund managers and, heck, even retail investors that do that on Twitter. Joe's got his S and X numbers bumping back up from the 12,000 this quarter to 17 next quarter, 23 in the fourth quarter, holding an average price of over $100,000. And I'm just wondering, what does he see that's changing, and what is he going to change about his research process so that he doesn't miss by 40% next quarter?